we're back. This is like episode 17?
Episode
no
2000.
idea. I'm sorry, I'm lost on that one myself.
Why don't we count the old episodes?
You might be on 7. Maybe right on 17. Though.
Episode 17. That's this. This is it. I was right.
If you ever compromise all the episodes into one big site, you'd have a problem.
We're up to about 180 or so, 160.
The original run, then it'd be like a block, and then new Exorcast. Then it'd be the
No. What you'd have is the original run. Then you'd have the Vincent free episodes. Then you have the
there would be like
errors, right?
2.5, 3 years, and then like 2.5 years, and then now.
Yep.
You had Vincent for 2 years?
Yeah.
They were going for a while, man.
I can't believe you
Easily
committed to it for that long.
They didn't record every week.
Yeah.
We did record every week.
I seem to remember there were days where Vincent couldn't be arsed.
There was that too. Yeah.
He came to your house to record, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I believe that was almost always how it started, was you discussing what it took to get Vincent in your house, basically.
Sometimes. Considering he literally worked like less than 5 minutes away from my home.
Mm-hmm. What's he do these days? I know he got his merch store back up.
I don't know. He's going back to school, I believe. Because the hospital he was working at shut down. So.
Got his new EP out.
Amber Alert. It's pretty
Amber
good.
Alert. Yeah. I don't know. I was expecting more of like a... I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't what I expected when I listened to it.
He's got a song about evil speak.
Yeah. Definitely visit Renfield stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. $10. Go buy it right now.
I think the digital's up for you can buy on his Bandcamp or something.
Link in the description.
Yeah. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description. Yeah.
I didn't say definitely would be there, but hey, who knows, maybe.
There might be a link in the description. So today we talk about The Hunt.
Yes, this is Time Warp Exorcast. It's really 2019. Ooh.
Yeah. How long was this movie delayed for?
Like God, 8 months, 6 months, yeah.
Now, what was there, a shooting that originally delayed it?
There were two. There were two shootings, plus the trailer came out, and everybody and their mother got up in arms about it. And so that, coupled with the shootings, they put it off.
Yeah, because nobody ever seen Turkey shoot or nothing like that before. So, okay, there's a pandemic going on. The world's in a crisis. Perfect time to release The Hunt.
So they announced they were going to release it before all this shit went down.
Yes.
As in, like, it was announced like January or February they were going to release it. Just so happened, because I was looking this up before, they happened to put it out in theaters basically when everything shut down. Movie made about $10 million total.
Yeah, basically. It was out for like a week, and then everything shut down.
Well, what had more delays?
One of the lowest pulling weeks ever.
The Hunt or the New Mutants? What had the most delays?
I would say probably New Mutants.
Yeah.
But not as much as Candyman.
Yeah, right. All by the same company, right? Not New Mutants, but The Hunt and Candyman are all Blumhouse, are they not?
Yeah.
Blumhouse. I can't pronounce it sometimes.
This is Jason Blum produced this.
Yep.
Yes. What does he not produce these days?
For real.
Yeah.
But this was probably one of my most anticipated films of the year.
On some level. I will say their second theatrical poster, which was literally the one, I believe, which had the picture of the pig on it, and nothing but pull quotes from people's articles, reviews, comments about how much they hated it, with the come see the movie that everyone's talking about, even though they haven't seen it, with original date, strike through, new date. That was the better poster, much better poster.
It was genius.
I got this in the mail the same day as I got The Invisible Man, so I had a very interesting double feature that night.
I bet.
And I will say I wasn't disappointed in it. But like I said, this does take things from Turkey Shoot and The World's Deadliest Game or whatever, that type of thing, which you think it might get old, but it never really gets old,
You mean the idea you're talking about,
the concept,
right? Yeah, Battle Royale.
Hunting humans.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I guess it gets spaced out enough and enough gets changed every time that they do it that it seems fresh.
Yeah.
Even if it ain't, because obviously this one takes a very, very political turn. Obviously.
If you believe Universal, it has no political turn.
Oh yeah.
And there is no truth whatsoever to the rumblings that it had a working title of Red State versus Blue State. No, not according to Universal.
I kind of almost wish it got that title, but no, I mean it's definitely political, but it's not really serious though.
That's kind of the key. It's abundantly obviously within the first 5 minutes. It's a satire. It's a comedy.
Oh, sure.
But go ahead and tell them what we're working with.
So, essentially, this whole movie starts. It starts with a text thread, and some friends are talking. There's a joke, and then someone says, "Did you see what our rat fucker in chief did today?" Referring to the president, and everyone's like, "Oh yes, my day's ruined. Like, oh fuck that guy. It was awful. Blah blah blah." And one of them says, "I can't wait," or no, at least this weekend we'll be able.
Hunt is coming up or something.
Yeah, at least the hunt is coming, and we can go to the manor and kill some of these deplorables this weekend. And they say, "Oh, you're not supposed to talk about the hunt. I thought we didn't say that. Viva la hunt." Then someone says, "I'm deleting this thread." And then, I mean, essentially what happens is we have 12 people who they kind of wake up in a field, ball gagged, and yeah, they're being hunted. And the
wakes up before.
Well, yeah.
Yes. But we don't need to spoil everything about that.
Yeah. So you do get to meet a little bit of the cast before they wake up in this field, but essentially what it comes down to is that, and these are the worst people on both political platforms.
Yeah,
that's the main point of this. It's not like we've all got our political views and beliefs and whatever, and I don't give a shit what yours are as well as you don't give a shit what mine is. I mean, we all know what we're talking about, but everyone watching or listening, doesn't matter. It's a fucking movie. But these are the worst people on both sides. So you've got your leftist elite that can literally have enough money to do whatever the fuck they want, and then you've got your hard right that are anti-immigration, fucking hate gay people, hate black people, everything. So these are the worst of the worst on both sides. So you've got the ultra-rich Democrats hunting the shitty fucking Republicans.
Basically.
Yep.
Plain and simple. And there's a handful of big names in this movie that we see right off the bat.
Yep.
Some for not very long.
Yep.
I like. Okay, I don't want to spoil. It's so hard to talk about some of this stuff spoiling something.
One thing I will say before you say that is, if you are interested in seeing this movie, don't watch the trailers. Yeah. Because one character, who the movie goes out of its way the entire time to not show you who they are, you see who they are in the trailers. Yeah. I distinctly remember seeing that. So
I don't even watch trailers anymore.
Just as an audience thing.
And that name's not like on any of the posters. Anything.
No, and that's what I'm saying. This is not Cabin in the Woods here. They went out of their way in the movie to intentionally not show you this person, and the trailer just like, fuck it, basically. Go ahead, Chuck.
Oh, the movie's like out the gate. It's playing games with you out the gate though, because they have at least 4 or 5 candidates for who the star of the movie is supposed to be. You know. Which I recognized a couple of them from other stuff and thought they were
I was so pumped to see.
I knew you were.
Ike. I can't think of his last name. He was on. He's fucking hilarious. He was in Neighbors, but he was on The League. He played the body Gibbiotti on The League. I know Matt, Dance Commander's watching. He knows what I'm talking about. But I was pumped to see him in it.
Yeah.
He's like, I know how to use a gun. I own 7 guns.
Well, like the second guy that we see there at the start when everybody's let out of their traps there, he's in a lot of stuff. He's in, oh God, there's a show that's coming on NBC that's real popular there for a while, and I can't think of it, but he's in that, and he's soap opera before that, so he's a really good actor. I don't know his name offhand, but there's a lot of good people that pop up in this movie.
First woman you see is from American Horror Story, Scream
Emma
Queens.
Roberts.
Yep.
Yeah, she's billed as like the big mean, she's not the poster child for this, but she was in the majority of the promotional stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like the movie would have done a little bit better if we hadn't have put who we put on the front of the cover and all that stuff. Like if you
Yeah,
didn't watch the
that's what I'm
trailer,
getting at. Like, I feels
yeah.
like they intentionally spoiled half of their tricks
I
in that
mean,
way.
it's like when you see what you see at the start, it's surprising in a way, but at the same time, it's not too surprising because obviously we've seen the cover of the Blu-ray, so we know who we got to get to eventually. So I mean, I don't know, but it's fun though. It's violent, it's fun. It's a little like maybe I don't want to say it's over the top, but it's definitely extremely satiric.
You
You know.
don't want to say it's over the top.
Well, I
Do
mean,
we want
it's
to talk about the spike kill at the beginning of the movie?
over the top. It's overly violent. Okay, the violence is definitely in extremes here.
But
Violence for the sake of violence.
I will say, like,
Yeah.
what they do with the gunplay and everything, it's pretty accurate to, like,
Yes,
it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point, no spoiler, but someone's aiming a gun at somebody and they pull the clip out,
smart.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's like legitimate. Like if someone that knew how to use that weapon would do exactly what said person does.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I mean, you get all these people, these deplorables, and they're set open in a field. They all wake up with ball gags. They find a crate. They pull the crate off, and a pig in a shirt runs out. And essentially, these people, they're pigs in clothing. But we see Orwell, yeah, from James Orwell's, yeah.
From George Orwell.
George, James, whatever.
Sorry.
Whatever. I didn't read it. I'm not gonna lie. I've never read it.
Animal Farm. I've read it.
Animal Farm.
I've read part of Animal.
No, you haven't.
Animal Farm.
He probably has.
I listened to the audio book.
Anyway.
I did. There's no lie.
No, I don't. I believe you. Go ahead.
But all these people that are waking up, they're all like completely out of it. They have no idea what's going on. They're all freaking out with the ball gags. And you see one girl, and she's literally pulling off her name tag and pulling her hair out, and she's in the water on like the side of this little river or pond or whatever, and she's making a compass. So you already know that this person has an idea of what's going on. Everyone seems to think they have an idea of what's going on, but she's a little bit different. She
stays away from everybody else pretty much.
She has survival instincts.
And she knows the certain prices of certain items in certain states.
Yes,
it's true. Because all these people were taken from different states. And they're fenced in, but if you get out of the fence, they've got strategic like placement set up with actors.
Mm-hmm.
It's very outlandish and
government officials they can bribe and pay off.
Sure. But again, this just depicts the worst people on both sides of each political party.
And I think part of what was so frustrating after I watched it was the fact that it got delayed. Because there was a chunk of the delay that happened because people saw the trailer and immediately made an assumption about it. And
Correct.
This is a movie where, while that is a partially true assumption, at the same time, it's intentionally over the top. It's a satire, obviously. You know that all throughout it. A great example would be there's a point where all of the hunters are talking and somebody says, "Guys, put your stuff down." The sole woman amongst them goes, "Guys," and he goes, "I'm sorry, I gendered that." As in, throughout the whole movie, every time anyone says anything that could be mistaken in a gendered way, the other person of that group says they've done something wrong. Corrects them, basically. Which, that's not to say there isn't a place for that in the world, but there is a point where it's too much, and that's what they're doing.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Would it be giving away too much if we say how these people got selected?
I think it would, because the way the movie presents it is that is a twist.
Because that was totally a twist for me. I've never seen the trailer. So I saw the trailer,
so I knew.
I saw one trailer online, like on TV, but it's rare that I watch television. But I never looked a trailer, because normally if I'm like, oh, what's this movie, and I'll watch a trailer for it or something. I knew the hype behind this movie, so I went away did not watch
Yeah.
it. And it ended up being on something on television that I DVR'd. So
Mhm.
once I got so far through it and realized what it was, I just kind of fast forward. Of course, like the big surprise that was blown for me, and like surprise actor that was blown
Yeah.
for me in the trailer. That's when I
Yeah,
realized I was like,
that's
fuck.
what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what's so. I hate that. Like, I know Quarantine famously did it, where the last scene of the frigging movie is in
It's
the
a trailer.
trailer.
That
I
was
mean,
the trailer. That was
That
total
was the
trailer.
trailer.
yeah.
But like my wife had no idea what this movie was. So to her, it was a surprise. She's like, I can't
Right.
wait to see who this person is. And I'm like, it's great casting, but it was ruined for me.
Mhm. Yeah. So I liked the movie. It surprised me, and like I said, that I didn't know how it was going to be different than what everybody thought it was. I knew it would be on some level. I do think that it could have been written or done smarter than it was in terms of how it did that. As in, I feel like it's a little bit beating you over the head with how stereotypical on each end they are. But I will say two things, which is one, as much as I do like the movie, I don't know we needed it. And in terms of, that, but also more so, and this is not like me saying this is on its level or anything, but do you think in 20 years that people are going to come back to this movie? I'm thinking in terms of host. Like, this is kind of dated by its nature at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know, because there's never going to be a resolution between
True.
these types of, between these political parties.
True.
They're always going to be severely separated. There's never going to be a coming together. And obviously, if we haven't had one yet, there's never going to be. So I kind of think that there will always be a place for this movie. And yeah, it might get dated at times because we may actually be able to move past something. But
If it's ever
the tropes
dated,
are
I
still
think it.
going to be there
Yeah.
for
I'm more getting
to
at, like,
all
you
of
mentioned in the
eternity.
text thing. Well, I more meant, like, you mentioned in the beginning text thread, someone says rat fucker in chief. Like, there's little bits and pieces that kind of timeline it that they're going for.
It may be dated based on like how much it relies on online stuff, like people complaining and people saying stuff on
This is
that
true.
type of thing. That may be like the one thing it dates it, besides obviously the obvious reference.
Do you think that's ever going to stop though in real life?
I don't know. Not unless they get rid of online platforms.
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's going to be like. I'll put it this way. I think Host will be more dated than it is.
Oh,
than this will
definitely.
be. I mean,
Will.
I'm saying Host will be more
absolutely.
dated than this will be. But I was sitting there watching it, going like thinking back over time of some movies when they came out versus now. Like, and whether they feel the same or not. And I'm like, you're not wrong. I don't see. What,
do you think Running Man is dated right now?
I think Running Man was dated when it was first made. But that's mostly because of
that was a game show time though. Everybody loved game shows back.
Well, what I mean is the production design style. But but in terms of, I mean I've read the book, so asking me about Running Man is kind of a touchy thing, just because I have enough issue with how much it went off the book. But no, it's just I was watching it and I thought to myself, like, you're right. I don't see us resolving or anything like that anytime soon. But at the same time, I do think that while it might not be resolved, there might be maybe in 20 years some, instead of being at level 10, maybe we'll be at level 8. And maybe that'll basically be what makes it feel a little dated, kind of thing.
I still think it'll age better than Host though.
Oh yeah.
Because nobody's putting their germ mask on when they're running for their life here.
You're right.
Host will be, I think, 100% forgotten in just a handful of years.
Nobody grabbed their red caps when they ran for the life here, right?
That is true. There were a lot of things that they could have done that would have been worse in dating it, and I give them credit for not doing those things.
Yeah, I liked it though. I liked it a lot. I think it was fun, which I think we need good, fun, violent movies every now and then. You know, it's
Well, and I think that
definitely
and
violent,
realistically, that's the only way this movie could have been.
of course.
Right. I mean, the only way this movie works is the very fact that it's the worst of both sides. Not to give too much away, because I'm not going to, but the revelation at the end, in some ways, it reflects the same kind of concept that was going on right now with that whole editorial that people wrote where they said, we hate cancel culture, and then they get the ability to go on TV, have all their articles published, etc. But they hate the fact that someone's against them, kind of thing. That's a very, I'll put it this way, it happened at the time to be very political. It's a very non-political opinion to have, and this movie shows that.
I
Right.
absolutely hate the term canceled at this point.
Yeah.
I hear it so much and I hate it. It's like I used to love Joe Rogan's podcast, which I do, but he had some people on there the other day and everybody's afraid to say anything. They're like, oh, I'm going to get canceled. Like they say it like 50 times per episode now. It's like, I'm going to get canceled. We'll say this. I hate the term, okay? And it's like,
It's a
it's
meaningless
just dumb.
term.
Yeah.
No
I mean,
one
like,
is canceled.
No,
Ever.
if that was a real thing, I'd been canceled years ago when I did the blogger deal. You know, blogger gate. You know,
That
so you know, so
Survey
it's just
Gate.
no. Yeah,
Survey game. Oh, that, yeah.
That was
yeah.
my
But
favorite thing
no,
you've ever done, Chuck.
It's probably it's probably my greatest accomplishment in blogging, probably.
Your your
no one
best
ever
and
gets
worst.
Yes,
That'll
my
happen.
heights was also my low point, and I never reached that plateau again. But no, it's just like I enjoyed this one. Like you know, a lot of times I go a lot of times judging a movie by how often I'm checking my phone while I'm watching a movie, and
Mm.
I was tuned to this movie. I didn't look at my phone like very much at all.
Yes.
Maybe some things lined up a little too well, you know, in some portions, but outside of that, I enjoyed it, and I was really didn't know where things were going to go to the very end. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it was one of my most anticipated films of the year, and as of right now, I don't actually have a set out top five, but it's hands down in my top five of 2020.
it's definitely
Um,
on there.
the film could have only worked out this way, like in the way that it happens, not giving anything away, but if you have one side win, or, you know, if either way one of the sides wins,
Hmm.
then you definitely have a
Conflict.
yeah, you definitely have a conflict, and this film is for said demographic of people and 100% anti the other demographic of people.
Hmm.
But that's not the case with this. And as I've said many times, these are the worst of both sides, which makes it enjoyable.
Hmm.
And I
It,
actually
it,
I have two quotes
uh-huh.
from almost the same scene in the movie. And I think they're probably my second favorite characters in the entire movie. But one of the hunted says, "Go to hell." And one of the hunters says, "I don't believe in hell. As you so eloquently posted online, I'm a godless elite." And the other one was, "Honey, what's wrong?" "He's wearing a wedding ring." And she looks sad. "He's a monster. He probably uses the N word on Twitter."
And that's, yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
it is what it is in that way. Like, you know, it's it does only work in that way, and in some ways the way the twists play out at the end, you can interpret and extrapolate other things from it, even maybe,
Yeah.
just because of the way things are played out and portrayed and presented to you.
You know, when you said it was like the worst of both sides there, I wanted to compare it and say it's like the Freddy versus Jason of these type of political movies. But
In a way, yeah.
this is actually good though. You know,
Hey,
it's
hey,
so,
hey, 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 hey! We have to have this debate. I will stand Freddy versus Jason to the death.
oh, Kung Fu fighting Freddy.
Kung Fu fighting Freddy
We need
and
Vincent for this conversation.
problematic Kelly Rowland talking to Jason.
What she calls him with that sweater, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's very talk about dated terms, right?
Yes, I don't
That's a
deny the
dated
movie
thing.
is dated as shit, but it's fun at
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
Um, but like I went in expecting something more than what the trailer originally presented. The thing that got everybody up in arms. And I've mentioned before, I'm still working on it because it takes fucking forever to watch all of them. I'm still trying to do that Video Nasties written review. I'm working on volume 2 now, as I'm going through both of them. And that whole thing is about not fucking understanding. You know, they talk about in the documentaries that when they made the laws in England, how it would work would be they would have a MP come in to the House of Commons, and he would just play them a mixtape, basically. A mixtape of, like, cut together of the scenes from all the movies that they was like, look at all this, and just watch it. And it's like 30 minutes of just... And you watch that, and of course you're going to feel like everything's horrible. You know, of course you're going to feel that. Like, the one I'm watching right now is the one where they, in researching the documentary, they found the list of other movies that could be prosecuted. And half the time when the people are talking about it, they say, well, this was probably prosecuted because it was by this company who released this other movie. Or it had this word in the title. You know, not because the movie actually had XYZ thing, but they thought it did.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I knew when I first saw the trailer for this that as weird as it looked and as unnecessary as I felt it felt, I also felt there's more to it than this. They wouldn't be releasing it. Like, if you read Wikipedia, it talks about they wrote this script God knows how long ago, passed it around to a whole bunch of different studios, and all of them passed on it. And then Universal took it, basically. And I think they say it's because people had fear. Now, believe what you want about Universal's opinion of it, where they said they were shocked that people felt there was a political angle to it and things like that. But, you know, it's better in execution than you'd think it would be on the face. It's handled smarter because of just the way they present it. One of the things that makes the movie work so well is just the pure and simple fact that there is no possible way you can legitimately take this seriously.
Correct.
Just because of the way it's done, there's no way. You know? That's the way they made it, and that's the way they had to make it.
And for anybody watching this that watches It's Always Sunny,
I was waiting for you to get to this.
Glenn Howerton's character in this is straight up just Dennis Reynolds. There's no difference between them. He's just as big of asshole sociopath in this as he is in It's Always Sunny. And I loved it. His jokes are, to me, at the beginning, his jokes are very funny, and they obviously don't land because of the person that he's telling them to. Doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Because she's lesser than him.
Oh,
yeah. One thing I will say is a lot of, you mentioned the politics. I will say, really, if you really want to get down to it, this is not a movie about politics. It's a movie about class. I'll just say, let's be clear here. They imply it's about politics, but really it's about class.
Chuck, Craig Zobel directed this.
Okay, he do anything else? I mean, I don't remember I remember I did a review of it. I don't remember, like, I don't recognize his name. Or I didn't recognize his name at the time.
Also, Damon Lindelof from Lost was one of the writers.
Yeah. So, I don't know why I had this lumped in. Like, I think it was just the Blumhouse stuff, because I thought, like, at one time I thought that the director of Get Out had something to do with this at some point.
Wait, what? Why is this on here? Why is Homestar Runner on his Wikipedia?
I don't know, but he directed the Westworld movie, American Gods, Z for Zachariah.
Great World of Sound.
A lot of stuff with Iggy Pop. Compliance.
Yeah.
I legitimately want to know why the hell this is on here. That makes no sense. Because oh wait, here it is. Homestar Runner was created in Atlanta in 1996 by University of Georgia student Mike Chapman and friend Craig Zobel. So he's a creator of Homestar Runner.
I don't know what that is.
Trogdor.
Yes, the Burninator.
Oh, high school flash cartoons.
Yes, exactly. It's okay, Chuck. You're older than us. You'll get there, right?
Yeah, you're sorry, Chuck.
Not that much older.
I know. I'm messing with you.
I am the senior here, though.
Sure.
And going by my expertise and my rating system, I give this a 4 out of 5.
I give it a 4 out of 5.
I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5.
There it is.
I'll take it. Um, I mean, I really like this, and there were a ton of people in this that we said that, like, some are big names, or some are faces that you will have
They
known.
all do well acting. It's great acting.
They
The
do.
movie, they lose themselves in this movie.
Yep.
Everybody is good in this movie. Like, legitimately, everyone is good. This is 100% a theater, like a film for theaters. Whereas what we just talked about in the last episode probably wouldn't do well in a theater.
No.
After the first week or so, it would definitely take a big dive. I think this would do steady for weeks.
I feel like there's too many people, and this is not saying they should be this way. I feel like there are too many people who would get up in arms about it without seeing it.
Well, yes,
and they would
because they already
the
did.
people who did see it. Well, they would outnumber the people who did see it and would say it's not that bad. So I don't know if it would like last for weeks. It would do better than the 10 million it made.
Right?
Yeah, it would do better than the 10 million it made. But
absolutely,
it just come out at a bad time, you know. But now, what did it make on demand? I mean, it was on demand, right?
I know.
I mean, it surely made a little bit of money on demand because
IMDb tell us that.
Yeah, like this and then
I'm gonna find out.
This and the Invisible Man kind of hit the VOD thing at the same time, right?
Yes, they did. Same day, in fact, I believe. On March 16th, it was announced that it would release digitally through premium VOD on the 20th, before the end of its 90-day run, and it was released. It was released the same day, I think, approximately, as Invisible Man and Trolls World Tour.
All the money went to Trolls, apparently.
Oh, of course.
But I feel like on-demand price for something should be like $10 max.
It only did 10 million worldwide.
Yep.
This doesn't have
it
like IMDb doesn't.
In the US and Canada.
IMDb doesn't have the VOD.
What was the budget?
14.
Yeah, it did 5.8 in US and Canada, 3.7 in other territories. It was released alongside the movies Bloodshot, which was that Vin Diesel movie. And
it's already like $12 for 4K.
And I still believe it was projected to do 8 to 11 million on its opening weekend. It actually did 5.3 and finished 5th. This particular weekend, though, as we said, wrong time. It is the lowest combined grossing weekend at the time since October 1998.
Yeah, well, it's a good movie, so it's unjustly tanking, you know. But you know, something like this, it's destined to be like a cult movie. I think it's definitely going to be like one of them movies that reach cult status in the next 10 years. You know, it may not be appreciated today like it might be appreciated years from now. You know, for people that live through this time period and all that.
So one thing I will say, because I'm looking it up right now, and at some point this is going to have to stop being our bench point that we keep going back to, but until the hype stops on it, I'm going to keep harping on this. Apparently only from 6 reviews, which don't ask me how the hell that works. Host has a 72 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hunt,
it's gone down.
I know, right? Has a 50. Which I don't on IMDb. Do you know what the 33 that shows up on the IMDb is? Because that's why I was checking that. I thought that was the Metacritic score, and I was like, that makes no fucking sense.
No, I thought they had like a star system on IMDb.
Well, IMDb's got a 6.5.
But there's like a little red thing that said 33. I thought somewhere.
Well, what is this on Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I'm wrong. Whatever.
Its Metascore's 50 out of 45 critics.
It's 50 right now. Yep.
Is this fresh on Rotten Tomatoes?
I highly doubt that. I can check though.
Yeah, I mean that's like supposed to be the cream of the crop with reviewers, right?
Bullshit. And you can quote me on
that. You could probably have less paperwork to fill out to go to the White House, you know, or space than it would be to be a reviewer on Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes, 56% on the tomato meter and 66 audience score.
Comparison-wise, Host continues to be 57 reviews, 100% on the tomato meter. Audience score has gone down slightly. It used to be in the 80s. It is now 76%.
Oh, wow. Rotten Tomatoes for you.
Yeah.
Fucking deplorables
hate Rotten
reviewing
Tomatoes.
for Rotten Tomatoes.
That's what it is. That's what it is. But
No, it's funny when the next morning after we watched this, when I left for work,
mhm.
I told the kids bye, and then I told Morgan bye, and said I'm off to sell furniture to some fucking deplorables.
Yeah, in some cases you might not be wrong.
To them, for them.
Yeah. Is it? What's the audience there like compared to the old cell phone audience you used to get?
Oh, everyone's much nicer.
Oh, so let me be clear here. I sold video games, and I know how people react when you try to trade cell phones in and buy used ones from you. I don't even need to work where he worked in cell phones. I already know the answer is the furniture people were better.
Oh, you mean when you have the?
I've not had one person yell at me. Like,
Oh wow.
I've had somebody get stern with me over the phone, and like, I really can't. I'm not in North Carolina building your furniture. Like, I can't help how long it's taken to get here.
Well, it's like at least you don't have that big wave of people that get their phone set up on the first, only to lose their phones a month later on the first. When those bills
You're
come
giving him flashbacks, Chuck.
I once had a guy come in and buy an iPhone and an iPad. Like, his phone was broken, so he upgraded, and he's like, I just made a shitload of money in tips tonight. I don't know how I did it. I'm going to put the like $200 down. I'm gonna get the phone. He's like, I kind of want an iPad, and I'm like, oh, I can get you this deal, if you want it. He comes in the very next day, got drunk, lost his iPhone. Didn't want insurance on it.
Of course not.
So he bought like a $50 phone, and I'm like, all right, brother, there you go. Enjoy your iPad.
Hey, he wanted an iPad. I mean,
at least he got that.
Yeah. I always got. There's always the possibility of either. See, the thing was, you had that version. GameStop's the other end, which is depending on the place you work in and the clientele of the place, you get a lot of phones. You don't know where they come from. I've had one once where a guy sold us his phone, and I think the next day or two later, his dad or grandpa came in and said, he stole that phone from me. I'm going to make him come back in here and get it back from you. And we had to be like, well, how that works with us is you basically just have to pay us what we can trade for it. So give us $60. Here's your phone back. Basically. That plus always it's, can you activate this phone for me? No, that's not our job.
Veering away slightly from our usual horror shenanigans, did any of y'all catch the DC Comics stuff over the weekend?
Suicide Squad, of what it looked okay. The Batman looks god awful. Wonder Woman 84 looks like Wonder Woman 84 would expect to look. The new Batman game looks fine. The new Suicide Squad game looks great.
What about the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Fuck that.
Oh, look at that now. I'm gonna
As
go
I
into
said,
it with open
I
mind.
await your comments.
I'm gonna go into it with open mind. I think the what we got wasn't that good, so it can't be any worse than that, can it? Even though Warner Brothers deemed it unwatchable at the time, apparently.
All I know is that apparently the trailer he put out, some people were pointing out that he really needs to learn another song. Because he just loves to use Hallelujah in every single movie he does and in every single thing he does. Well, like, here's the thing. I'm sure it's fine, but honestly, and I should be clear, I'm not saying that to the movie. I'm saying it to, did you hear what happened on Twitter afterwards? Where somebody said that...
I don't know anything that's going on at all, so... You guys just do your thing.
They released the trailer for the new HBO version of the Snyder Cut. It's going to be done like 2-hour version, 2-hour movies over like, or 1-hour movies over like 4 days or something like that. And somebody watched the trailer and said, it looks fine. It doesn't look like how I'd want it to be, but that's okay. He didn't love it, but he gave generally a positive review. But it was still like he was on it. And Zack Snyder came out and goes, well, this isn't for children, it's for adults. I'm just
I saw that. The guy said that it reminded him of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, and
he said you're not
that was a compliment, basically. And And yeah, you're not the demographic for it. It's for adults.
I don't know. It seems like I want to give it a chance. I hear Ryan Reynolds has a cameo as Green Lantern in it, so
That's
that's
surprising.
cool. Yeah,
It's
it is
very
surprising.
surprising.
Money talks. I mean, that's why you got Ben Affleck back as Batman all of a sudden. They released the poster for the new Flash movie that's coming out, which has Michael Keaton back as Batman once again.
Which at least that's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're familiar with the Flashpoint story, you know how that's possible. Then we got the what Flashpoint, like it's basically.
No, I know it. I'm just saying I knew W was going to shake.
It opens up different worlds where basically everything is happening as canon. It's just a different Earth,
You're good.
Okay. Okay, and I didn't think the Batman looked bad. Very very emo-ish.
That's
very
the problem.
very hot topic friendly. But I ain't gonna say Robert Pattinson can't do a good job because I think he can because I've seen him do good in a lot of movies.
I'm not gonna blame it on him. I just think it looks like a terrible writing job. That's all.
I feel like we're it's basically Seven meets Batman from what I gather of it.
That's
and,
the portrayal. Yeah.
And it's more in lines with the Christian Bale style Batman, where everybody's a little bit more realistic, I think. Because Catwoman looked like she's basically wearing a beanie with the eyes cut out and ears on.
A lot of people are talking about Colin Farrell and how he looks as Penguin, which is unfucking recognizable. Which is kind of
I did see a picture of him. Yeah.
One thing in the trailer though, everybody's this character everybody says is the Riddler, which obviously if it's the Riddler, he don't look like what he normally looks. The guy with the goggles in the trailer looks like Hush, from the the other Batman stuff with Hush in it. So I don't know. I feel like there's more to it than what we've seen, but I'm interested in all of it. Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 looks like Wonder Woman 84. I think that's going to be the more fun, lighthearted one out of the bunch. But
I didn't watch the first Wonder Woman movie.
It was good. It was good.
I don't give a shit about superhero movies anymore. Just don't fucking
care.
Wonder
Woman was fine. Black Panther is great. Wonder Woman was fine. But beyond that, I'm basically on Europe. I don't really give a shit about the superhero movies.
Like all these Marvel movies, I don't fucking like. If there's a Batman movie that looks good, I'll watch it because I like Batman. I will watch any Spider-Man movie out there. Yeah. Civil War, don't fucking care. Any of this other Marvel shit, don't fucking care because they fucked up Civil War anyway from the comics.
But it doesn't have all the characters in time. But I love comic books in general, so I love this stuff. So I watch all of it. I own a great deal of it, and a lot of it's on that Voodoo account. You ought to brush up on some of it if you haven't.
I saw it on there, but it's just like, why? I read the comics when I was a kid, the stuff that they're trying to portray now, and it can't be anywhere near as good.
Yeah. I think Batista is also Bane in the new Batman movie.
I hope.
I mean, that's fine.
Robert Pattinson.
I mean,
that one, like I said, that one stands out separate than the rest. But it'd be interesting to see what it is.
This has been the Exorcast Comic Book Hour, brought to you by Tyler.
I wonder if they don't try to tie like Pattinson's Batman into the last Joker we saw. Who knows?
You assume I saw it.
Huh?
That's not mine.
What?
Now there's no music. Now there is.
Oh, well, I hear that. Oh, that's on my end somewhere. Yeah. Well, we're at the end of the show anyway.
Live.
We're at the end of the show anyway. It's the house. I'm live at the House of Blues, according to the sounds of that. But does this mute button mute anything?
No.
It doesn't. That don't mute nothing. Don't mute nothing.
Nothing at all.
Wow. Oh, hold
on. Ooh, there you go. Was that the actual mute button?
If only Chuck was always muted.
I'm trying to avoid copyright issues with the guitar in the background.
Look, I said I could hear the music. I didn't say I could tell what it was.
Yeah, I can't tell what it is.
Well, it disappeared. So anyway, what's on tap for our next couple of weeks here at the Exorcast?
I want to review The Invisible Man for sure.
That's fine. Yeah.
And we'll figure out another 2020 movie to kind of cap it off.
There's a billion. There's at least 1, 2, 3 new things on Shudder every month. There's at least 1, 2, 3 things new on Netflix every month. We'll find something.
We will.
Are we?
And that goes out to anybody who says there's nothing new coming out in 2020.
That's right.
I think we need to make it a mission to review Uncle Peckerhead.
We're all just gonna stare at you for a while.
Yeah. I liked it. You know, it's bloody. It's a little funny. Turned band goes on tour with a roadie that turns into a demon every night at like midnight for 12 minutes.
That is incredibly random amount of time.
It sounds fun.
It's random. I mean, that's just how it is. Good
okay.
stuff.
Let's try to review that someday then.
Maybe.
All right.
We'll do it after we do the Witchcraft.
Chuck acquire copies for the both of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You see how this works? Yeah.
Yeah, that how this works. Okay. Well, y'all go have to sell more of my Screwdriver DVDs if you want this time.
I forgot. We should be talking about Cauldron. We forgot to mention they announced a third title. We didn't talk about that on the news last time.
And it was a title that none of us guessed, right?
That's right. I almost completely forgot. And also, as of today, the 26th of August, there are 100 copies left of the limited edition American Rickshaw on the Cauldron Films website. They are not on Diabolic, but I believe in November, standard editions of Abracadabra and American Rickshaw will be available, and you can also buy the standard editions. You can pre-order them now on Amazon.
And that's for the new announcement. I assume this is the 1980s nihilistic one, not the Giallo that they were teasing. It's called Mas Ala del Terror. It is a Spanish movie from 1980, also known as Beyond Terror. Strange supernatural events plague three crooks after they burn an elderly devil worshiper alive in her own house, along with her adolescent grandson.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yes, I forgot that for news last time, so we'll talk about it now real quick briefly.
I completely forgot about that. So, look, at this point, anything that they put out, I'm gonna buy.
I assume that we're going to cover all of these on the show.
Possibly.
If possible.
So why are we going to cover his Melancholy de Angel or whatever that just came out? Well, did that come out or come out?
That's not Cauldron.
Those aren't Cauldron.
That's his other one though.
That's Diabolic.
Yeah, like that's.
Yeah, I mean that's just something that's a Diabolic exclusive.
I mean, we're not sitting here doing Freakmaker.
We could have. I mean,
this is true.
You know, since we're in good with Diabolic, you know, and Jesse, we like to promote his stuff.
We're not good with Diabolic. Let's be clear here.
I mean, we're good.
Some of us maybe are, but
we're friendly. We're friendly with Diabolic. Over that.
We are.
They're pretty well sponsored.
We're all big fans of Diabolic DVD.
Even though they technically wasn't a sponsor of the old show, they kind of was because they was mentioned every single week.
Well, because it's the best independent-related
non-Amazon horror site.
Yeah.
Because it's the best non-Amazon horror-related website that actually gives a shit about how your stuff arrives at your place and doesn't let you get your Scream Factory box set in a shipping mailer.
Probably more likely to get your slipcase with them too, I'd imagine. Since slipcases are all that matter.
It was definitely easier and cheaper to pay Jesse to find me German hard boxes than it was for me to eBay them.
Probably still is.
Probably.
They still do them? Because you probably ain't bought a German hard box in 10 years, have you?
I mean, you bought Suspiria.
Yeah, I bought Suspiria. I bought like 4 Suspirias a few years ago. I got 1 monster box off Eli.
Yeah.
I came in the Black Erotic.
Black Araya?
Nope. No, not Black Araya, but I have that.
That reminds me. Are we going to do the Danzig movie?
We're doing this. Please.
Erotica.
Have you watched it yet?
Yes, I have.
Do you want us to? Because the only way I will watch Verotica is if you want us to review it, because I have heard such horrible things about that movie, and it's coming to Shudder in the next 2 months. So I'm just putting that out there.
I just want to see Mr. Beard's opinion of. Oh yeah.
84
Entertainment still alive and cooking, huh?
Well,
is it new or an old one?
It's old. It's a fucking poster and a magnet and
A magnet in there with the movie?
We're at Exorcast, where we heard you like unboxing, so we put an unboxing in your podcast episode.
Magnet.
Yeah, I get nervous when the magnet's around a disc, though.
If I'm going to be fair, this is not something that I'm probably ever going to watch.
Well, let's be honest. Okay, how much you pay for that?
$50.
I've never seen a monster box, I don't think, in person. Or at least not this close, even on video.
So this is the best part about hard boxes, because there's a handful of companies, but most of these companies don't have the rights to the films.
Yeah.
That was always the thing that sounded most interesting when you talk about them in the old days.
So this disc is the movie, and it is from a company called Simple Movie. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the special features disc, and it's from X-Rated Cult's release. So it's a repack of 2 different discs from 2 different companies for another company.
They just make the boxes.
And pick the cover artwork, usually.
So you're buying the box, the movies are free. Is that what it is?
So, yeah, and this was limited to 84 copies worldwide.
That's 84 entertainment for you.
Well, they've got some others. I think Eli's got something that was like limited to 7 or 11 copies. It was some weird movie. And
I was always a fan of the old Dirt Devil, or Dust Devil, whatever it was.
The Dust Devil, from Inked Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were all white textured hard boxes, and it all looked like they were drawn artwork.
I heard that Severin was supposed to be putting out a Blu-ray of that, but I haven't heard nothing else in a while.
That'd be awesome.
Severin's still trying to figure out Theater Bazaar, because they finally got the rights back to it, so they're probably going to do that by the end of the year. They're still trying to figure out Cruel Jaws, because they've already played that as a 35mm. So, Bruno Mattei.
Did they cut out the actual Jaws portions of that?
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? Why would you ever do that? It's half the fun of it.
How much of it actually belongs to Jaws?
I don't know. I haven't watched it, but I'm saying that when they release it, I'm definitely buying it.
For sure.
Because it's Bruno Mattei and it's Cruel Jaws. And
well, how can they work it out? But Scream Factory couldn't work it out. Because Scream Factory announced that at one time, and then it was like, we're not doing it.
Scream Factory has proven multiple times they are not willing to spend the money on certain things.
Well, maybe not Don May, but the other guy threatened to fight them.
Also, Don May on that record is looking at Massacre at Central High still.
That is
some stuff about that.
Oh, you're right.
I don't know. Severin's some British guy, which
I don't know why I was thinking Synapse for some reason.
They have the same.
Because they have a similar style, except Synapse does more porn.
90% of what they do is they do a whole bunch of porn with a regular movie every 4 or 5 months, pretty much. And back in the old day, it used to be something good. Like there was a time when Synapse was just kicking butt, man, because it was Intruder, it was Frankenhooker, it was God Told Me To, or not God Told Me To. It was Thou Shalt Not Kill. Yeah, and then there was like all that cool stuff, just boom, 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 and just quit.
Most recently, they did all the art dental stuff.
Tit rope torture porn.
Yeah, was that?
Japanese.
At this point, though, it's like, what else really great is there out there to put out anyway, right? Unless you just take everything that's already out and put it on 4K. What else is there to do at this point?
See, the annoying thing is, if I wanted to, I could get up right now and go in the other room where I have the copy they did this year of Watch Me When I Kill.
Yeah.
And I could get the catalog out of there and tell you exactly what's in it, basically.
They did Hot Dog the movie this year, too.
Yeah. Sorceress was pretty recent from them. Mosquito was pretty recent from them. Severin also, for the record, says they're getting ready to do a lot of Alex de la Iglesia stuff, so Day of the Beast and stuff like that.
Yeah. I always get a kick going back and listen to the Jim Van Bever voice messages he left on me back in the day.
You posted those recently.
I did.
I hadn't heard them in years. I played them for Morgan. She's like, what is that? And I told her, and she's like, holy shit.
Yeah. He says, the tape looks better, man. The tape looks better. Which I don't have the old DVD of Deadbeat at Dawn, so I don't know how it looked from Synapse, but
I've got it.
I feel like you overreacted a little bit.
I think they're supposed to be doing the Kindred. I think they're supposed to be doing a deal with Joe Dante. because I know originally Shout Factory did trailers from Hell, but now it's listed on Synapse's upcoming stuff in their catalog.
I recently watched, I think, The Kindred. Or maybe I'm messing that up.
I think that's the one that has the picture of the baby bottle with the creepy green creature inside of it.
Yeah, not that one. I watched the one that had the Nazis in it that everybody kept on wanting to come out. The Keep. I watched.
Oh, that's different.
And it got a foreign release from like Australia on DVD, and I watched it, and it was pretty good. Like I'd like to see it on Blu-ray. You guys seen The Keep?
I've not.
It's decent.
No one ever seems to release it in America.
I don't know what the problem is.
It's pretty much the big one that's one of the big ones that just never got released.
Well, it's apparently Paramount owns it, going by the logo on the side of the case. So why this company in Australia put it out on DVD and not, Blu-ray is a weird thing to me, because everybody wants it on Blu-ray. It's obviously been remastered. This isn't the old VHS, rip of it that everybody else was selling in bootleg form online. So I don't know.
And with that,
who can say? Well, and thus concludes another exciting episode of the Exorcast. The original,
where we start talking about something and end up talking about The Keep.
the original Exorcast.
The only Exorcast.
Yeah, all right. The other one's quit, so we win.
Mm-hmm. We won.
You don't have to send that cease and desist letter,
Nope. What makes you think he didn't already do it?
Hey, maybe he did. Maybe that's why they just feared, right? Just feared off quick.
Mm-hmm. So we'll be back next week with Invisible Man and something else.
Something. Yeah.
But thanks for watching and putting up with us and our fucking nonsense and comic book talk that I was just completely lost in.
Yep.
That's going. If you put that in the tags, it'll get all the views. Watch.
Honestly, he's not wrong. If you put DC Fan Zone in the tags, it is actually probably going to come up on people's.
And then put at the bottom that the DC talk starts here, and put a timestamp. There you go.
And then I'll get lots and lots of hate mail from Zack Snyder fans. Like I said, in all seriousness, I very much like Watchmen. I remember Superman wasn't my thing. If you like it, that's fine.
Oh, I love to watch.
Watchmen was good. All right. Anyway,
that's the 4K complete version.
Okay, Chuck.
Like, share, subscribe, talk back with us.
That
engage,
stuff.
Follow me on all good stuff.
Especially on this lovely episode about a mildly controversial movie.
Yeah.
My Screwdriver. I have a bunch of copies left. They sent me extra covers.
But buy Screwdriver.
There it is.
I haven't bought one yet.
It looks like it's censored when he holds it up because it's blurred out. But
No, it's not. It's not blurred out because of that. It's too extreme, Chuck. Don't you know how to sell your movie?
Okay, it's too extreme. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's too extreme.
And with that, we'll see you next week.